If you look at people in this industry, and I mean in social media in general, the people who have done the best are the people that are really just like transparent and share as much as they can.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, on today's show we have online influencer, YouTuber, and now fitness expert and business owner Sarah Godfrey. Thank you so much for coming in today, Sarah.
Thanks for having me, Matthew.
So you're actually a familiar face to our office, obviously. Because
yes, I'm in here quite a lot.
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, just to start with, Sarah has been working with Bankhouse since last September, really,
yeah.
and ongoing now forever. We're now very
exactly,
happily
yes.
business partners, and we've got a lot of exciting things. So it was really important for me to actually have you on, have a chat, because whenever I had first met you, whenever you see someone online or you watch someone on YouTube, you have a preconceived idea of them. Everybody does, because you've got a different version of yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Obviously on YouTube and everything else, and on Instagram. So whenever I met, I was pleasantly surprised how much we had in common, and I loved your drive and everything, and I just was really excited about working with you, and we launched our product. Our business in January 2019.
Yeah.
So basically, I just want to sort of go back to right to the start, and just basically from school, and just tell me how it all kicked in and how you are exactly, what's led you to being exactly where you are right now today.
Yeah, so in school, I was always a very sociable person, and it's funny because now doing what I do, my mum kind of always says she definitely thought that I would do something in like not social media, but she thought that I'd end up being like a singer, an actor, something that was putting myself out there from a young age, because when I was a lot younger, I was very out there. And then in my teenage years, I actually started to get extremely shy and self-conscious, as a lot of people do. And throughout school, I tried out lots of different sports, but I was never one of those girls that was like amazing at anything really sports wise. A lot of my friends were really good at hockey, because the school I went to, Muckross in Donnybrook, it's a big hockey school, and a lot of my friends were very into hockey, and I tried everything out, but I was never very good at any of the sports like all my friends were. And throughout school, yeah, I kind of was more just into like hanging out with my friends and stuff like that, as I still am. And throughout school as well, I ended up putting on a bit of weight, but it wasn't something that was like a problem to me. Like I never really noticed it. It was just something that like gradually happened, and
it was probably puberty, no?
Oh, it was. I hit puberty like very early compared to all my friends, and I can remember going to like teen discos and my mum saying like, maybe you shouldn't wear like the mini skirt, like because you've a more woman's body than your friends and everything. But I think I was kind of oblivious to it, which is a good thing, because I know girls now from the age of 13 are like looking at themselves in the mirror and judging themselves. But I kind of didn't really think about it at all until I was about 15, and a couple of comments were made from boys that I hung around with. I started getting a bit kind of bullied about like my weight and stuff like that, and it was kind of then that I realized like, oh, maybe I am like holding a bit more weight than my friends and everything like that. And that's when I started kind of looking into what I was eating and exercising and everything like that, and I hadn't a clue. Like I was like looking online for stuff, and you know, I didn't know what to do, so I just ended up basically probably doing it the unhealthy way, and like starving myself and like running on the treadmill and doing anything to lose weight. And I mean,
so at that time, right, so we literally in school, and you weren't really big into sports, right? So
yeah, no.
We into like any like what we into, like maths, English? Do we into reading, anything like that? Was there anything?
Well, I'm dyslexic, so I really struggled in school. I always actually kind of hated school, to be honest. I found it really difficult, and my mum used to have to like make me study, and I had grinds and everything. I got by okay because my mum really pushed me, but school wasn't my thing at all. And to be honest, like I was a typical teenager that just like everything revolved around my friends, like, and going and hanging out with my friends, like that was just everything to me. And
so whenever your hormones kicked in, your body started to change and you started saying, right, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. Did any of your friends go with you?
So at the beginning, actually, I remember we started going to the gym, like a couple of girls together. I think it was when we were in fifth year in school, we started going, and like it was more of a social thing as well. Like none of us really knew what we were doing. We'd go in, we'd like go on the treadmill for a bit and like try out some of the machines. And actually then I remember there was a couple of classes that we started doing together, like ab classes and stuff like that. And I actually started to really, really get into it. And I did start to see a big change in my body over quite a short period of time. And then,
I remember once you told me that it was funny because I was saying, how do you get into fitness? And you said you kind of got in through body pump.
Oh yeah, body pump classes. Yeah, that was kind of later on.
Like a body pump class as well. Like, and I actually, it's so good just to get in and out for an hour. You're wrecked.
I would still like love to do body pump classes now if they were around where I lived. Like, so basically then I kind of kept up going to the gym with my friends as like a social thing for a while, but it was nothing like serious. And then when I graduated from school, I started doing a course in teaching in college, and I had a part-time job working in a place called Fit Zone. It's attached to a gym, and it's where like kids get, like, you can drop your kids off while you go off to the gym. So I looked after all the children, but I got a free membership in the gym Westwood, and that's when I started going to body pump. And honestly, I think that's what like made me fall in love with exercising, because I got addicted to it. I loved it. And I just felt amazing doing it, yeah.
So whenever you first went to the gym, body pump and everything like that, was it used as like, did you want to get into shape? Were you using it for escapism? Were like, so many people have a relationship with fitness, and it's usually something triggers it that you want to say, right, okay, I need to like get myself into shape, or I want to like just switch my mind off. Or what was your biggest thing?
Yeah, so obviously when like I first started going to the gym back before doing the body pump classes, I was doing it purely to lose weight, because I had been bullied about my weight, and it was almost like I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And then I did lose the weight, and I felt really confident in my body. And then it was actually the day before I got my Leaving Cert results, and I got the news that my dad passed away. And at that point I was in a very good place, and that just kind of set me back a lot. I ended up gaining a lot of weight. I know people grieve in different ways. I turned to food. I was just eating everything. That must have been
like a shock. So you were like 17?
I was actually 19 because
19.
So I was 19, and it was like very sudden, and I think I just didn't really know how to process it. But I can like remember very clearly, like we were driving down to the funeral was in Kerry, because that's where my dad's family were from and everything, and every station that we stopped off at, I was like chocolate bars, just like anything. And I think it's like trying to numb the pain in any way that you can, and I turned to food. Some people say that when they're going through grief they can't eat anything, but I was just
maybe.
Yeah,
some people
exactly
smoke.
Yeah, and
every time I was stressed or something, I would lit a cigarette, like whenever, and even if I didn't smoke. And sometimes people reach for things like, thank God I don't anymore, don't drink. And you obviously
alcohol has never been something that I've really enjoyed, but I do love food. So I was just like eating. And I guess as well, I just kind of, I didn't care about anything else anymore. I was just like very down and upset. And then I started into college, and I mean, I think probably the eating, it got better, but like I did gain quite a lot of weight. And so when I started with body pump, it was kind of a mixture of like, I want to do this for my mental health as like an hour to just escape.
Yeah, because it had been, at that point, it had been like damaged essentially, like with shock of something, losing your dad.
Exactly. And you know, I knew that from the past that exercise had made me feel so good, and I wanted to have that feeling back. And that's when I started going, and it 100% worked. I just felt it's like therapy, really. Exercise, I always say that, like, it really, for some people, is like therapy. It's just an hour where you're like
at that point, right? So at that point, you're in the gym, you're dealing with the grief, and you're right. Okay, my mental health here. I'm going to get a handle on this. Did you think that it was ever going to be your career? Like, you know, I know you've got, I know there's massive things that we're doing career-wise outside fitness space, but it predominantly is right now, and it's how you've got where you are essentially. So
yeah, I can remember being in college and one of my friends, she wanted to do a personal training course as well, and that kind of planted a seed in my head. And there was a lot of people around me that were very into fitness, and like the idea was always there, but I guess because I was training to be a teacher, I always just assumed that's what I would do. But I guess the more the years went on and I was falling more in love with the gym, I did think I would love to be able to do this as part of my job, and ended up.
I know it's funny because, you know, you've told me that story before whenever we first met about, you know, tragedy with your dad and various different things, ups and downs throughout your life. And, you know, whenever people look at Instagram, they look at someone, they have a preconceived idea and they think you're maybe a D4
yes, I've had that a lot. And it's hard for me because one thing that I do struggle with is getting my personality out online, and that's why I like doing podcasts and stuff like that, so people can kind of get a bit more of an idea of me. But some people, I think it just comes naturally to them being able to talk on their stories and everything like that. But I will admit that with my social media, a lot of people say to me it's very hard to gauge like who I am as a person, but something
you're still like, even with the amount that you are showing to people, I feel you know, you're still doing really well, like, you know, and you still have, you know, a career which is brilliant and it's growing and building, and that's it. And I do think, like, I personally think anybody can do anything once they have confidence, and you know, anybody, that I think it's just that you have to believe in yourself and other people have to believe in you and things like that. And that's one thing that I definitely was a bit taken back by. I was like, God, why, Sarah, God, I thought you would have been much more, you're very driven, but I thought you would have been, like, you've been so easy to work with and so appreciative of everything, like both of us have been doing together, and that's why I think it's done so well. So whenever so at this point, right, you're back in college, you're studying to be a teacher, and you're like, right, okay, I'm into fitness here and I'm sort of liking it. How did Instagram come around? Like, how at what point did you end up saying, right, okay, I'm gonna maybe put a post up?
So unlike nowadays, I grew up where Instagram wasn't a thing. Like, iPhones weren't around until I was probably like 17, and I can remember Instagram starting and it just being an app where, like, I think people used it more for like the filters to probably put up on Facebook. And then I think over the years it just became more and more popular, and I can remember going on a holiday to Thailand and like thinking, oh, like, I want to start trying to build my following. And I started posting like probably like bikini pictures realistically, but like tagging different brands, hoping that they'd repost me, which they did. And I then kind of thought to myself, you know, why now I've got, you know, I think I had about like 7,000 followers, and I was like, I want to actually do something with this, not just do it for my ego. I want to actually help people. So that's when I started posting fitness content, workout videos, what I was eating, just updating people on my journey. And it was also shortly after that I went to the Fitness Expo Body Power, which I think was like the real turning point for me, because I went along as just like someone who was observing it all, and I met so many people that I really looked up to. And I think I had a bit of a light bulb moment where I thought, like, I could do this if I really put my mind to it, and I need to stop thinking that it couldn't happen to me. And after that what year was that? I think that must have been 2014.
2014.
And after that I just decided, you know, this is something that I want to at least try, because I didn't even think that people made, you know, I knew people made money, but I wasn't really sure about how they were doing it.
But you know? Did you find, so your following's at like 7,000, right? And did you find then the more value you added, the more following you got? Is that sort of the way it worked? Like you were saying, you started to post fitness videos, started to post what you eat at?
Yeah. So I think as well, at the time when I started posting, no one was really doing it. In like, bloggers were, there was only a couple, like Suzanne Jackson was doing it. A couple of the bigger influencers were doing it, but it wasn't very common. And as well, fitness, no one was doing fitness like YouTube or anything like that. So there was like a kind of gap in the market for, I guess, someone in Ireland to do it. Now there's loads of girls who are doing really well doing it, but I think when I started there wasn't really that many. And like I definitely took inspiration from like the English girls and American girls and just kind of went with it. So as well, you know how Ireland is so kind of nosy, sorry to say, but I think everyone was kind of like, what's this girl doing? Like, you know, it's easy to get talked about here if you do anything out of the norm. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, no, because like I know that and that's it, you know. So you were at that point, you were working away, you started a YouTube channel, and you also were filming your life, is pretty much documenting your life and giving people an insight into breakups, makeups, all this different stuff that
I was a
going
lot
on.
more active on YouTube about 2 years ago. It was really like my life. I was vlogging like 4 times a week, and I mean, maybe one day I'll get back to that, but there's been things along the way that have kind of made me become a bit more private, because like we all need a bit of privacy, and I do find that people at times have become more interested in my private life than actual fitness, which look, I understand, because I'm the same. I'm interested in people's private lives. We're humans.
It's so funny, right? Because whenever I was telling my dad at Christmas, I was like,
oh yeah,
no, I've got this new business partner, and I was like, this is what she does. We're doing this stuff at the fitness space. And I was showing him everything that we were doing and what the plans were.
Yeah.
And he ended up going on and watching your YouTube channel, you know, and because he watches all our movies, he watches everything. He's very proud of everything we do.
Yeah.
But he rang me, said, Matthew, I saw that girl Sarah like on, God, I don't think she needs to really talk about everything in her. You know? And I was like, that's her job. I was like, that's actually what happens, because he just didn't get it. And didn't understand
but the
it.
thing is,
but
like
having that, being able to go to that level of being open, I think does, you know, you're putting yourself out there, but there is reward from it.
Yeah, I think like if you look at people in this industry, and I mean in social media in general, the people who have done the best are the people that are really just like transparent and share as much as they can. And I mean, I don't think I have shared too much at all, and I think I could share a lot more and be a lot more myself. But I do think like with vulnerability comes like others connect with you through you being vulnerable, and I think it's good the way people share their lives, you know. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I think I think the more value you can add somewhere to someone's life, the better. Do you know what I mean? So if you were to look and see, right, how can I help someone? You can help that 17-year-old girl who's feeling a bit maybe bloated or anything because of hormones. I've been through that. I've been done that. How can I deal with a relationship that has maybe went through, you know, like what is most of your DMs from,
I have to say, like, one of the things that I get DM'd about so much is relationships and breakups, and I guess that's because I have shared stuff about my relationships online, and I really like that I mean, I'm not probably the best person to go to for advice, but like, I mean, it's nice that girls feel like they can reach out to me and talk to me about that. And I think
you're really good with advice. I think you're very level-headed, and it comes from a place where, you know, anytime I'm going through anything, and even with, you know, the project we've been working on as well just this week, you know, you give really good feedback into it, and it wasn't even it was involving someone else. So I do think that you've got like a lot to offer in that space. So a lot of people like have got following right now, and they're thinking to themselves, you know, how do I even, you know, having a sponsored deal is common now. You know, everybody who's influencing marketing is people have took the spend from TV, from Google AdWords, and put into online influencers, because there is a good turnaround in profit, and you can really gauge it because of affiliate links and with everything landing on the page. That wasn't a thing really back then. How did that come about for you? You were pretty much at the start of that. Would I be right?
I mean, like definitely when I started, I wasn't aware that people were making money through sponsorships. I thought like people were getting free stuff, and I thought that was amazing. I didn't realize that people were actually getting paid so much money to work and with these brands. But at the time, so I finished up college and I was working as like a nanny, because I decided I wanted to really give social media a 100%, and I didn't want to go into a job that I was then juggling the two of them. So I decided to, like, I'm going to take the year and I'm going to give 100% to this, but obviously I needed to make money as well. So I was working as a nanny on the side. And then it was actually after that first year at Body Power, I had gone along with an ex-boyfriend, and he was like working in the industry at the time. I mean, he was still new to it, but he was working with a brand called My Protein, and I was introduced to them through him, and I did a bit of work at the stand that year at Body Power. Like, they just gave me some clothes and kind of threw me up on the stand, and just to see how I interacted with people and everything like that. And after that, I had a few emails back and forth. They sent me some products, and within, I think it was about 3 months, they decided that they wanted to sign me as one of their affiliates. So that's usually how it starts off. You start off as an affiliate, and I think it was only 1 month, and they said that my sales were so good that they were happy to put me on as what they call an athlete, which is actually just like an ambassador. And I loved working with My Protein. They were the first brand that I worked with, and I still say that their products like are amazing. Now I've moved on and I'm working with Women's Best because I feel like it suits my brand more. It's all about like girl power and women, and it's all pink and pretty, which I like. But yeah, My Protein were amazing to work with, and I got to travel to Body Power with them the following year. I also went to the Olympia in Vegas with them. They brought me there, which was amazing, and I've like got to do a good few photo shoots with them, and they were always such a lovely brand to work with. And yeah, then my time with them came to an end. I decided to move on, but yeah, I think they're amazing.
We just
company.
made like a massive jump from like, okay, I'm going to give a year out and try nannying to I'm in Vegas here with My Protein. So that did happen like pretty much overnight. Whenever if you can talk about like 3 to 5 months, you know. Yeah,
because I can even remember getting offered during that time when I was working as a nanny. I worked for like a good few different families, and I guess they put a lot of trust in me because I did have a degree in teaching, and I had been babysitting since I was 12. But I remember getting offered a job to look after 2 twin babies for a family, and they wanted to take me on full time. And like, I mean, the money is actually decent, and like people are willing to pay quite a lot if you're looking after their most prized possession, their children. And I was like, oh my God, this is so tempting to go for it. And also at the same time, my mum was like, are you going to use your degree? Like, are you going to go and work as a teacher? And I was just like, oh, like, this is so hard. But I knew deep down, like, I had to go with my gut and like follow my heart really and do what I wanted to do. So, and I also can remember when I had to finally say to all the families that I worked with, like, I'm not like doing this anymore, which was really hard. But
so that's insane. So you got to leave your job and become a full-time online personality.
Yeah, and it was a steady transition. Like, I remember I kind of was like, I didn't just completely stop working for them, but it was like slowly I stopped doing so many hours working as a nanny, and then eventually I was able to stop completely. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So at that point, then you had come out. You obviously then you broke up. You had a breakup with the relationship, and then you went through, obviously, which we all watched online.
Yes.
I watched it. We all watched it.
Yeah.
Everybody in Ireland. Kind of watched. You break up with your boyfriend online, and then obviously that was a tough time for you. Like, did you use the gym at that point, or what? Did you go back to roots and like, right, okay, I need to get into the gym, or what did you do through that period?
To be honest, well, I guess people know that we broke up and then got back together, so there was actually 2 breakups, but I did share it all online the first time, and to be honest, it wasn't really a majorly difficult time in my life because the relationship just came to a natural end, and we were able to stay friends and everything like that. But it was the first time in my life that I was a single adult, because I had been in a relationship from 17 to 24. So I'd never actually experienced life by myself, which was a bit weird. So I ended up getting my own apartment, which was like a huge financial risk because I obviously was kind of new to the whole industry, and I was thinking, will I move back home? And then I was thinking, no, I'll end up like killing my family. I'm not used to living at home. So I decided I'm going to get my own apartment. And oh my God, like I was just so happy. It was like a new life for me. And it was kind of like being like 18 again. I felt just like really, I don't know, I hate to say it, but I felt really free and just like my own person. And yeah,
and you know, I lived out in LA for a while, and
yeah,
I think it's just nice to nobody, like, not that anyone knows you, but just that you're not going to bump into someone.
Exactly,
your family
yeah.
can't just rap on the door.
I know,
you know,
yeah.
It's sort of nice just to sort of be away and like make new friends and explore new things, explore new relationships.
Yeah, meet new people, and yeah, no, I'm really enjoying being in London now, I have to say, and I'm lucky that I can do everything that I do here over in London, and I can come back anytime I need to have a meeting with you or another brand or whatever. But to be honest, a lot of the brands that I work with, like Pretty Little Thing and stuff like that, their offices are based in London, so it actually works out handier for me. So yeah.
And then, so before we met, right, and we sat down and we went through a full business plan and mapped out like 12 months to 18 months of ideas. Like before, you can slag me on me saying ideas. Ideas.
Yeah.
So whenever, that's one thing that you've always slagged me on. But before that, right, before any of that, did you ever think of like what you wanted to do, right? So you're working as are you working as a social influencer, and you're saying, right, what did you think, right, okay, I want to do more here, or I can do more?
I think when I met you, you know that I was kind of at a point where I was a little bit lost, because I had moved away kind of from fitness, and that was just because the work that was being offered to me at the time was more fashion brands and beauty brands, fake tan, hair, everything like that. So I was working with a lot of brands doing that, and I did kind of feel a bit lost, thinking like, is this this isn't going to last forever. Firstly, like I do need to think about starting my own business, because you can't just, you know, work for other brands for the rest of your life, because there's always going to be new people coming along and everything like that. So when I met you, I was actually at a point where I wouldn't say that I was like feeling low, but I was feeling very lost in my life, and I was just, you were like an angel sent to me. but yeah, like, it was a moment
where I feel the same about you, to be honest, because I do think it really clicked at the right time.
Yeah.
And I had been looking to get into a fitness space 12 months previous. We tried it with another person. They didn't have an online following at the time, so me and my business partner Daniel had ended up, we had went through exactly the same process with someone else. And we left it at that time. We said, look, we're not going to pursue this, but I've always wanted to work in the fitness space. I think that it's a massive market. I think there's so much potential with bands, clothing, products, everything. There's so much on in there. But whenever we sat down, it's like you had already worked in every single aspect of what we had thought about. Yeah. And you also wanted to do it for yourself, which was great.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, I knew what I wanted to do, but it was actually just having someone to make it happen, and having a business partner to push me to do it, and just the support. I am the type of person that I like to work with other people, and I just think you and me clicked, and it was really, I always knew that I wanted to do it, but it was just nice to have the support from someone, you know.
It's funny now because we had the first initial meeting, but now you deal directly with the team. I don't even know
just on. I'm in the WhatsApp group giving orders.
No, so it's great, but that is good. Like whenever like myself and Daniel set it up, and we just move out of the way then. I think the thing that I've learned in business is I just step out of the way as quickly as possible. So I get in, set it up, and then get out of the way, because I think I sometimes slow things down. Do you know what I mean? Because you have an opinion of what you want for your business. What's the point of me telling you what a thumbnail's going? You know, I'm not sure about that thumbnail. You know, like it's what you want. The graphic designers in the office get you. They absolutely love you. You know, Dario and Simone love you coming in, and everybody does. But so then you've now we're like right, okay. We the website went down on the first day of launch.
Oh my God, that was stressful. But
that was stressful. We actually went out on New Year's Eve, and we ended up having a drink together with a couple of friends, and then stayed in my house that night, and then we launched the next day, and the website went down within about an hour. We were like, oh my God, there was so many people had hit it.
We didn't.
We got it back and up and running in 20 minutes onto like directed into a different funnel.
Yeah.
But that was exciting. I didn't mind that.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of drama, add a bit of drama.
I actually thought, okay, because at that point we still weren't sure, is this going to work or not? Do you know what I mean? Because we tried something new. We were coming, it was a short period of time. We're like, right, okay. And that was definitely the clear sign for me, right, okay, we're on to something. There is a massive audience here. Yeah. And I was like, brilliant. So at that point we just end up having, it was
happy days. Yeah, we were very happy with how it went on the first day. And then after that, we kind of started thinking of like projects to launch just before summer. And then I did my 6-week summer body guide, which also went really well. And now we have like a couple of other things that we're working on. And
do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, like, so I don't mind saying it. One of my like dreams over the last, I would say, like 3 or 4 years has always been to have my own swimwear line. Like when I first started out on Instagram, it was like what I was posting when I went traveling. I love travel, and I was always posting like pictures in bikinis, and people were like, where'd you get your bikinis? And it's always been like a big question that I get asked because I just have a ridiculous amount. And I just thought, like, this is something that I want to do, but I'd love to do it where I can cater to all shapes and sizes, because I myself sometimes like struggle to find bikinis that like fit properly. I hate when you have to order a bikini that's like the same size on the bottom and the top. Like, I'm not, my boobs are big, so I'm not the same on the top and bottom. And I just think I'd like to do a line that was suited to like all shapes and sizes. That's and exactly everything like that. Like
single, everything is there. So this is something that we had hoped to have out this year. But like we were overwhelmed by the amount of work that we took on. And it's something that's coming out early next year. But I'm really excited because I feel like the hard work's done.
Exactly. And as well, like, I am a bit of a perfectionist, and I don't want to put my name to something unless I absolutely love it. And I think it's better off like taking time. Like, look at anyone who's brought a product to market. I always follow along with like the Suzanne Jackson, who's done like the best, amazing, she's just incredible. And like when she brings out a product, she always says like, this has been something I've been working on for over a year. And you don't see all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and everything. And I'm kind of realizing that now. And
the 3 bikinis that were going to be launching this year would have been the wrong decision to do.
Exactly.
It wasn't at the standard that you want them to be at. The packaging wasn't right, and it didn't even have the right name. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The name's completely changed. Everything has changed.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that it's like, I'm glad, because I was very much like driving through, because I wasn't on the ground at every point. I'm saying, no, let's just go, let's just do this. No. But I'm glad that you really stood your ground and said no.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to wait until it's 100% perfect, and I know that everyone that follows me will actually love them. But besides bikinis, we do have a few other things in the fitness space that we're working on as well. But
fitness, all like what I've said is like, my take on the whole thing is it all has to come back to fitness. Because that is where you are, and that is, I think that is where you add most value. Because we were driving one day at a shoot, and I think Daniel asked a question, and I was totally blown away by your response. I think it was something to do with somebody was on steroids, and you actually had so much knowledge about the steroid space. And I was like, not that you're on them, but like, how do you know so much? Do you know what I mean? It's like on every aspect, whether it's, even with, your thing on just calories in, calories out, backloading, all your different training techniques, you're so knowledgeable in that space. And I was completely surprised, and I think a lot of people would be.
Yeah, no, I think actually when I did the Brian Keane podcast, I think like...
anybody, like this will be linked below, Brian Keane podcast. I was blown away by the amount of stuff. And I had been working with you at that point for 5 months. Brian Keane's podcast is brilliant. And I thought yours was one of the best ones I've listened to.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't share as much knowledge as I have like on my Instagram, but I did also I did online coaching for a period of time when I first moved into my own apartment actually, and obviously you need to have quite a lot of knowledge on training and nutrition to do that. That ended up not really being something that I felt very passionate about, so I ended up just leaving that behind, but I did enjoy doing it, and there was some girls that got amazing results with it. But I think with the ebooks it's better because I can like hit more people, you know.
The next fitness plan that we're going for, the next fitness project, will be kind of like what you've done before, but it'll be en masse.
Exactly.
There'll be more support, and it'll be in a much more organised private members area.
Yes,
everything
exactly.
there. So really excited about that. Which,
very excited. Yeah,
that's coming in September, but probably not say anything more.
Yeah,
hopefully. It is, well, we'll see. Look, I mean, if you know, we'll work towards it, and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
So, say if a girl now wants to get into fitness, what is the best way to do it? Like, not just like buy the guides and do whatever, but if someone was to buy your guide and start to go all the way through with everything that you do, like. Are you there like with support, like in DMs, if anybody messages, or what exactly, is there any way that people can
so like
contact
I always say, anyone who like ever purchases my guide, like I want to say thank you to them firstly for supporting me, but if they've any questions at all, like I always am happy to help, and any girls who have messaged me asking questions, I'm straight away reply in my DMs, and I also make sure to say to them, like, any other questions you have, let me know, because I want to help. And that's kind of how I communicate with people. Like, I always get messages saying, like, I don't know if you're going to see this, but no, I see all the messages. I just like, I'm not going to reply to all of them because I can't. But if someone has supported me, I always make them a priority to reply as soon as I can.
A lot of people have been sending like transformation ones as well. Like you screenshot them and send them to me. You're like, look at this, look at this.
Yeah, no.
And like, I think your audience is slightly different, where they don't maybe put it out on their story.
Yeah, a lot of the girls who, you know, have purchased my guides and stuff, there's a lot of mums, there's a lot of people who are like getting ready for, say, their wedding, or I think people who have purchased my guides are kind of more like, I'm 26, they're more my age group and above, although I didn't really think that many people that age followed me, because when I'm out, it is the younger people that come up to me. But yeah, no, it's mainly been, I mean, there are still young girls that have bought it, but I do find that it's been mainly more my age group and older, which I was quite surprised by, but yeah. Looking back, like from whenever you started and left college, and your mum was saying, like, I want you to go and do like are you going to take your teaching job? Like, you could have been a teacher now, like to sitting with your own fitness business, really big exciting thing coming in September, and your clothes or your swimwear line in production essentially. Did you ever think that was going to happen all from YouTube? Or no? And the thing is, like, I don't regret it one bit at all. I think, you know, we all only have one life, and you definitely need to take risks and do things that scare you, and I was really scared, like, not going into teaching, but all the experiences that I've had over the last couple of years, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. I've got to travel so much. I've got to work with amazing brands. I've got to meet people like you, and it's just been amazing. And as well, you know, I have freedom, which is something that like not a lot of people have, and I don't have to, you know, get up every morning and go into a job that I dislike. Not that I would have disliked teaching, but I have a lot. I actually did really enjoy working with children and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm just going to be honest. A lot of my friends have jobs that they hate, and I'm listening to them all the time. And I'm kind of thinking, I'm so lucky that, you know, even if it doesn't last forever, for now, I'm in a position where I get to dictate my life, and I'm going to do the best to set up my own businesses so that I can continue working for myself for the foreseeable future.
No, I think you're great at also management as well. You know, what I mean?
That is something that we talked about.
You're doing it already for Bankhouse. Do you know what I mean? Because in Bankhouse Media, you know, we're not going to make any qualms about it. We are looking for influencers to work with to build their businesses, and this is something that Sarah is hands on with this, and is working alongside me with. Sourcing out various different potential projects, building businesses and doing it, you know, and that's something that, you know, we have identified that you're really good at, and it's something that I have been delighted to add to the team, because you have as many people as, you know.
Sometimes I actually think that I am better off at coming up with ideas for other people, just because I guess, I don't know, I the shyness in me again comes into it.
It's not even the shyness. That's what I'm best at. Do you know what I mean? I acted at one point, you know, and I worked for somebody else at one point.
Yeah.
And even now in Bankhouse again, like I step out of the way. I've got an amazing manager, Leanne, who looks after everything. I don't do anything, do you know, because I know the sooner I get out of the way, the better, because then I can look and bring in, like, working on new projects and bringing new projects to life. Like, that is where I'm best at. Yeah. And everybody around, like, supports that, understands and supports that. They don't come to me with something that isn't gonna, that I don't need to know. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why it works really well with Daniel, who I talk about a lot, like throughout all my interviews. He understands. We both support each other in a way where I just am allowed to do what I want. And that's the same with you. It's like, if I can say to you, okay, we're looking for somebody right now, let's find one.
Exactly, yeah.
Then we go and source it out, you know?
Yeah, and I definitely think, like, anyone who has built a following online and is kind of, like, has all these ideas but is unsure how to make it come to life, to definitely come to someone like Matthew, because just sitting down even and having a conversation with you added so much value to me. And I was lucky that you wanted to work with me, but I definitely think having just, like, the support network, I always say that you are most like the 5 people that you spend most time with, and you and me talk every day, and you've definitely been a major positive impact on my life. And I'm so picky with the people that I have in my life now, because I think it's really important to surround yourself with very, like, motivated people who, like, push you to be your best. And
so on that note, if somebody has an idea, just DM Sarah or email info at bankhouse.media. DM Bankhouse Media as well. I keep forgetting about our own social media.
I know, I just tagged it there on my Instagram, but
we spend all our time growing other people's and growing other businesses. But do you want to know what? We've never paid for advertisement. Everything has been word of mouth, and we've steadily grew. Like, Bankhouse Media is only open a year. Bankhouse Productions hitting its 5th birthday, my film production company, which we still do film and documentary, but Bankhouse Media is, like, rapidly growing really fast, and we love it. We've got some exciting projects coming. So
it's all about word of mouth, though, even with me being able to say to who you did your last podcast with, and saying how happy I was with working with you, and now Adam's working with you as well, and that's very exciting.
Adam's
all the stuff.
Amazing, though. He's like, he genuinely is. Like, whenever you'd said to me on the phone, look, I think this will really align with the brand. I think he'll work well in the office with everybody. And, you know, I'm guilty of it. We have a preconceived idea because we watch Love Island.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone prejudges everyone.
And then whenever I actually done a call, I was like, okay, no worries, let's meet up. And then we met up when we were in Dublin for 5 days, and it was a game changer, you know. So again, I'm really excited about everybody that we sort of work with, and I'm really excited about it. So if we're going to wrap it up, so what bit of advice would you say to sort of that girl out there who's probably, like, confident in stage school, hit a bit of a bump through puberty, and is, like, just a bit sluggish right now and in their teens, and wondering, what the hell am I going to do in my life?
Wanting to get into fitness, or are you talking in general?
Well, you use, like, fitness to get out of that hump, but, like, maybe even just opening people's eyes into, like, maybe fitness. I don't know, is fitness
the thing is, like, the gym is not for everyone. I will say that. I'm very lucky that I do love it, but it's not going to be for everyone. And I always say, just to find something that is, like, exercise based that you can use as a time to switch off. So that might be, like, yoga, Pilates. It could be just going for a walk with your dog. It could be doing, like, a home workout. I have a guide. Or going to the gym like I do. I just think everyone, like, it could be horse riding, it could be playing a sport that you enjoy, but just some kind of physical activity that, you know, you can take. You're looking after yourself, and you enjoy that hour, and it's a time where you can really switch off and just, like, look after your own physical health, because I definitely think it impacts on your mental health. For me, 100%. If I'm not in the gym, I notice it big time. I just feel it's like I start getting brain fog. I'm just not as... I also find that I'm a lot more tired when I'm not exercising, and a lot of people have said that to me. I have so much more energy when I am exercising regularly. So that would be my advice, just to find something that you enjoy. I actually tried yoga myself this year and I love it, so I want to start doing that more now. But
yeah. So well, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Like, I will say that this definitely was not a fitness based podcast. It was more business and getting into business and sort of doing all that stuff and strategic partnerships. But again, I do highly recommend anybody to listen to Brian Keane podcast if you want more of a fitness based one, because you talk about all different types of workouts and stuff like that. So I would recommend that. It'll be linked below as well. And also thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited about the future and
everything that we have. Well, I better go catch my flight back to London, but thanks for having me in.
Brilliant, Sarah. Thanks.